Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by Thomas Metal 75 and the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I'm Thomas Metal 75, joined by John and LA from the great state of Georgia and Jay Terrio from Louisiana Beer Reviews. Hopefully, this Hurricane Michael that's coming doesn't wreck your week.
Well, it's not heading, but it's heading toward the Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah, so everybody
Getting a lot of wind from it, though.
Be safe.
Getting a lot of
and
wind.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do today, which is not very southernly or whatever. You know what? Whether wherever you are in the United States aside, it's the fall.
Yeah.
Some people drink Oktoberfest. Some people drink pumpkin beer. Some people drink malty, hoppy, crisp amber ales. We're doing fall seasonal 2018 edition. And Jay's got the, what do you have, Jay Terrio?
I have Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Wheat. And I did a review this morning. I didn't post it yet, but I was shocked because I said, it must have been a year since I did this one. And I checked my notes. It had been 2012.
Wow. All right.
Been 6 years since I did it. I said, God.
So a good review because it wasn't super fresh in your mind.
No.
Okay. And John Anilli, this is kind of interesting, his beer because of the one that I got. But what are you bringing today, John Anilli?
I've got the Harpoon Oktoberfest. I've never had it, so I'm pretty excited about it. It is 5.3% alcohol and 32 IBUs.
Yeah, that's a good one. You made a good choice.
Excellent, because here it is. My beer is actually a Harpoon Flannel. See if I can get that zoomed in. There you go. Flannel Friday. It's a hoppy, malty, crisp amber ale with the leaves on it, with the dog on it, with a flannel looking grungy Seattle or up in the mountains of Vermont kind of looking beer. So very cool.
That's another good choice. That's another good choice. I've had it from the bottle, never the can.
The whole, it was a part of their Tailgater sampler, which had, I can look this up because I had a couple of the beers from, actually I drank all the other beers. It's it comprises of their flagship IPA. It has this Flannel Friday. It has John Anilli's Oktoberfest, and then it had one called the House Golden, which was like a Belgian style golden ale. So all of them were really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what John's going to say about that beer, the Oktoberfest from Harpoon, and what Jay's going to say about the pumpkin wheat harvest wheat there from Blue Moon. Yes. So I'm going to ask John his overall thoughts and opinions of the fall variety styles of beers before we jump into our individual beers.
I'm very favorable towards fall beers, particularly your Martzen style beers like this one. You know, they're malt forward, which I like. I'm definitely more of a malt guy than a hop guy. So I love the malt forward presentation with this style. The roasted barley malt component, you get that nice roasted barley malt caramel sweetness type note. They're very bready beers. And, you know, this one, 32 IBUs, that's getting up there. So this one's kind of a nice little balance between malt and hop. So it'll be interesting to see how this one is. But I'm very favorable towards Oktoberfest and just fall beers in general. So there you go.
Do you feel the same way towards the fall varieties of beers, Jay Terrio?
Yes, I'm very favorable towards them, and I don't see them as much, but I guess they overloaded the market a few years ago and people got sick of them, you know. But like the Blue Moon Pumpkin is about the only pumpkin beer we got, except for that kind of low volume pumpkin beer from Missouri. That's $2.99 a bottle for a single, and I was able to get, and I was able to get this 12 pack for $15.99 this morning. So
my overall thoughts on fall beers are very favorable. Now, obviously, when we talk about most of the traditional pumpkin beers you think of in the United States, sure, they're a flavored beer and they'll have some spices of nutmeg, cinnamon, and coriander or clove or that kind of spices that are used inside of pumpkin pies. So therefore, that's kind of more of a spiced pumpkin flavored. That's the word, flavored kind of beer. But what I generally like about the fall seasonal beers is when we talk about Oktoberfest beers, Martins Fest beers, or even a hoppy amber like the one that I'm drinking. And sometimes freshly hopped beers come out in the fall from some companies as well. What I like about those styles I just named is they're traditional beer styles. They don't add any, except for pumpkin beers, they're not adding anything additionally to flavor the beer or anything. They're traditional styles within brewing, which is what I really appreciate. Thanks to the Germans, we have.
I do too. And look who's in the house tonight.
Yeah, and now we got Lance the Lush. Yo, what's going on, sir?
And a whole lot of nothing. It's good to be back in the saddle. It's been a while.
Yeah. I'm sorry for those Cleveland Indians the other day.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
Bad score, but I bet you have a better beer for the fall 2018 seasonal examination tonight.
Well, actually, I was going to do a review on this beer tomorrow. It's actually pumpkin beer. It's from Millersburg Brewing. It's the Imperial Pumpkin.
Oh, yeah, Imperial beer.
Yeah, and it's according to the can, this was a 2018 World Beer Cup Bronze Award winner.
Good.
Nice.
So, your thoughts going into this examination? How do you feel going into fall seasonal beers? Do you typically enjoy them? Do you not? Where do you fall with fall seasonals?
Well, we could go into the fall seasonals. I'm with you. You have to thank the Germans on this one because they have the best. They've been doing it for centuries. I mean, honestly, the pumpkin beers, I feel more like they're Johnny-come-latelys. But there's some really good ones, but there's some really bad ones out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, excellent. And if people don't know Lance the Lush, go look up Lance the Lush on YouTube. He is out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. If you need a Kia, go to see Lance the Lush.
Thank you. Thank you for the cheap free advertising.
Free advertising. Well, mine is smelling absolutely delicious, but I want to go down the line and start with our buddy in Georgia, John Anilli. Give us a little review of some Harpoon Oktoberfest, if you will.
All right. Well, it smells really good. I'm kind of surprised that it's as malty on the aroma as it is because it is 32 IBUs. I was expecting it to be a little belt forward. You're getting a nice roasted barley malt component on the aroma, some nice breadiness. That caramel sweetness from the roasted barley malt is really coming through. It smells really good. So I'm excited to get into this one, which I'm going to go ahead and do right now. So cheers, guys. First beer of the evening.
Cheers back to you.
And this isn't the perfect glassware, but I never get to use this glass for these things because it's got all this stuff on it. But you can see from the bottom the color. It's a very it's like a deep copper color, and the head is so looking beer, super filtered, nothing floating around in here. So it gets an A for the appearance as well, and it's tasting pretty good right now.
Well, you should love, well, as if you need to know about Oktoberfest, but those are right up John's wheelhouse, being in a lagering beer family.
Right.
And you love those malts. I know we know this. So is it got a nice lager yeast finish? Does it have a nice malty bready component to it?
Yeah, I can go ahead and give you a quick breakdown of the taste here. It is very malt forward on the palate as well. That definitely follows through from the aroma. There's a nice breadiness in the middle, like a brown breadiness in the middle of the sip. It is super malty. Like I said, the hops are coming through a little bit on the finish with this one. They do come into play. It balances out this beer perfectly because, like I said, it is super malt forward. So the hop bite on the back end is really nice and balances out the beer quite well. I'm very impressed with this beer. I mean, first thoughts are that this is just an excellent beer. Let's see. Yeah, this is their take on the classic Martzen style. So everything so far, my first thoughts are that this one is slightly superior to the Samuel Adams Oktoberfest that I had a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to keep sipping on it and see how it develops. But yeah, cool. It's a very, very well done beer. I can say that.
Excellent. Nice to hear, because I had the bottled version in my tailgater pack, which included this final beer, the Flannel Friday, and the can had some tinny, like sucking on a copper penny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of.
This one, I remember you mentioned that about this one. I'm not picking up on any metallic with this one, so maybe it was just the can.
That day, yeah, definitely sounded like it did. Otherwise, it was a good beer. I like that one. So I'm going to go right down the line and hear from our correspondent in Louisiana, Jay Theriault, and the pumpkin harvest from Blue Moon, Miller Coors.
Master Luscious in the house tonight. Everybody's going to, all right. Don't you know you're going to lose your mind? All right.
Sing and rap.
It's not delicious. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Lunch? What?
Now,
all right. He's been thinking about this beer.
I've been thinking about it and I've been drinking about it. It's been 6 years since I had it, and it smells kind of, well, it looks nice. You know, it's copper, I guess you call it, orange copper. It smells very mild. I mean, if you're looking for a bountiful aroma, just a rush of aroma, forget it. You'll get a rush of spices in the foam, you know, in the head of foam, but then it dissipates. Okay, I can make this simple. I can make this fast. So give me 20 to 30 minutes and it's done.
Okay.
Get pumpkin pulp. I said this morning in the review. You get pumpkin pulp, get an underlying beer, whatever they're using, I guess, malt and hop extracts. Only 69 IBUs is 5.7% alcohol. It's certified kosher. You get some pumpkin pie spices. You get pumpkin pie dough, like, you know, with the good pumpkin pies. I got to say, I was drinking this morning, and I was thinking, this might be the best pumpkin beer that you can get. It's not elaborate, right? Mm-hmm. It's not elaborate, but it's just like perfectly pleasant. And at 5.7% alcohol, it's in the malt liquor, always malt liquor range. And so you're getting the vibrant punch from the ABV. I just think I gave it a 94 this morning, and I'm sticking with that. And for $15.99 a 12-pack, hey, it's the pumpkin beer that's available in Louisiana right now. Where are the rest of them? Well, that might send a message right there. Why is Blue Moon out there? And I had the last 12-pack. The whole shelf was cleared out. So, hey, somebody likes it, and it ain't just me. So there's a lesson to you. Have I seen Buffalo Bill's pumpkin beer lately? Not in about 6 years. Have I seen, well, you could just name them out. No. Getting the echo. But so that's it. I like it. And you know I'm going to give it a high rating tonight. So that's that. And I do not work for Coors much.
Not much. You just stock their shelves in your local area.
Nope.
Not even. All right. Well,
Crown Distributing does that. Okay.
Okay. You find that beer all right. Very good. Now, there's a little different side of the pumpkin beers with Lance Delush, and he's drinking in an imperial style. Tell us about that beer, Lance.
All right, now, so full disclosure, I have not had this beer yet, so I'm going into this totally blind.
That's good.
So this is a straight up review, but I'm not going to do my normal review stuff. I'm going to roll right through it. Now, according to their official webpage, so you know, this is based off their 2016 pumpkin aged in pumpkin beer, which I've had at their brew pub, which is really good, but it's aged in Caribbean rum barrels.
Wow.
So that's full disclosure right there. And according to the website, in the can, it is 9% alcohol by volume.
All right.
So if something tells me in rum barrels, this is going to be strong.
Do not drink more than one. I beg you not to drink more than one.
No. I got a 4-pack, and I'm only drinking one. Trust me. I might have to drink 2 just so I can go to bed so I can sleep good tonight. Now that pumpkin smell and spice is coming out of the can. Okay, there's no print date on here. I just want to make sure. And it pours, and you can see it here. Put it up in the light so you see what it's pouring like. It's pouring just as expected, being a barrel-aged beer. That's for sure.
That's sweet looking.
I'll cut it off right there. And I'm looking up here in the light.
I like that.
Some carbonation. Good solid head. It's not frothy or anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's starting to, that pumpkin, that rum is starting to come out now. Actually, let me back that statement up. I'm getting more molasses smell than a rum smell, and the really good sweet molasses.
Same family.
Oh yeah, that's where rum comes from. It starts molasses.
Molasses, cane sugar, yeah. Oh, primary ingredients, yeah.
Oh, whoa.
You got it in there. All right.
Okay. Pro tip here: you got to drink this one cold. That's a promise.
Oh.
Because it goes right down like a warm malt if it don't. Something tells me that right there. Without the skunky smell.
Okay.
This is actually very well done. It really is. Now, this is not obviously a guzzler at 9% at all. This is definitely a sipper. But I'm not tasting that the powdered pumpkin. I'm not tasting that. Now the spices, it tastes like it might be powdered, but I'm not sure they put it like it's a puree. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to them in a while. I have to ask the Paddens about that, the owners. I got no complaints. None at all. This is probably one of the better pumpkin beers I've had, especially at the far end, the imperial side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chocoboos. I'm gonna reassess it tomorrow when I do the actual review. As it stands, it gets a 4.
What's the price? What's the price?
Now for a 4-pack, it was $10.99.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
That's a good deal. Sounds like for what you're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, and Imperial Pumpkins. I mean, you guys seen the prices on those. You're starting at $15 most of the time.
Yeah, you want to get a little pony bottle or a little 12-ounce bottle of Avery Rumpkin. That's like $15-16 just for 12 ounces. One bottle.
Oh yeah, and it's like I walked by. It was actually the next shelf down from this one. I said pass, because I saw it.
Yeah, John and Ille's favorite brewery, the BRUERY. At least their 750 milliliters are like 15, 16, 17. At least you're getting volume enough to share. You're getting one beer and you're spending $15. Maybe it's a good beer, but damn, you don't have any money left to buy any other beer for the evening. What the hell?
Right. Thanks. No.
Was that? Oh.
But that sounds like a great beer for the price there, Lance. Very awesome.
It really is, but I got to reassess it when it's cold. I got to.
Maybe it's a little more drinkable at a cooler temperature.
Oh, yeah, because if you're not careful, if you start pounding these, you're going to be on the floor real fast.
Wow. Okay. Well, all right. Interesting stuff. So my beer is similar to John's. We're both drinking Harpoon. This one again is the Flannel Friday. There it is, zoomed in. Got the dog, got the leaves, you got this flannel-looking Seattle grungy mountains of Washington State kind of look to it. Which they're from Vermont and
Yeah, but don't.
Vermont by way of Boston, Massachusetts, in their flagship brewery. Now this can in the 12-pack variety that I bought, their Tailgater fall variety, says enjoyed by 11/15/2018. So we're doing pretty good in the freshness dates there. It's 5.7% alcohol and
Hold on,
30
Aaron, hold on. Don't New Englanders wear flannel also?
I guess, but it's reminding me of grunge, I suppose.
Okay, because I always think of New Englanders wearing flannel. All
New
right.
Englanders, flannel, lumberjacks, Canadians, Northwesterners.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it's all right. This one says on the website, nothing, or harpoonbrewery.com, nothing says fall is here louder than the first day at the brewery when everyone shows up in flannel. So I guess that's how they came up with this. It's our tribute, amber. This hoppy amber ale is our tribute to the quintessential season of change. Then they talk about the flavors of the beer. All right, so the beer had a nice frothy head. Now it's down to a finger, almost and a half, maybe one finger there. This is a George Killian's kind of a Nonic pint glass. It must have a little bit of an etching because look at that.
Well, there's some quality carbonation with that.
Yeah,
that's vibrant.
Got your typical fall seasonal amber reddish kind of a beige head on there, amber kind of looking body to it. It's definitely opaque and filtered, and a little bit of lacing, but at 5.9 or 7, I wouldn't expect a whole bunch. And in the nose, I am definitely getting some of these light pine resinous notes and grapefruit citrusy notes and maybe a touch of a floral hop, but it's definitely more of the pine and the citrus notes, but they're the primary note, but it's still kind of light as compared to an IPA, but it's really vibrant in this amber ale. I'm also getting some nuttiness in there, almost maybe like pecans or pecans.
Okay.
And I'm also getting a lightly syrupy, like a
maple
toffee,
syrup or
like a toffee caramel. Say that again, Lance.
will you answer my own question? Like a maple syrup smell, or is it
It's like a syrupy sweetness, but it's really maybe like that, but it's not really that pronounced in the nose. But I'm definitely getting like a brown bready sweetness. Maybe it's more of a sweetness than it is like a syrupiness, but sweetness mixed in with that caramel and toffee.
Oh, okay.
And hops, like I mentioned, and some pecans, I guess. So,
pecans.
Yeah, it's like a very hop-forward, toasty amber ale. So let's try it. Cheers. Flannel Friday from Harpoon.
Can I tell Lance something real fast?
Go ahead.
Lance, Diane sent me a coupon in the mail, 75-cent coupon. And Lance, you know how much this pack costs at Dollar General or Family Dollar? I'm sorry, Family Dollar over here.
$2.20.
I'm gonna take a swipe. I'm gonna say $2.75.
Okay, $1.49.
Holy crap!
Minus the 75-cent coupon. Thank you. How you?
I've had the red
buck
that I've had. They weren't terrible, but you have to kind of roll them in between your fingers because they do have a tight draw a little bit.
What is it?
I had the red labeled Cheyennes before.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They're very tightly rolled, so you got to roll them between your fingers to break it up a little bit. So
they're tight. They're tight.
But that actually, a little cigar may actually be really great with this. You're getting a little bit. I'm getting a little bit again of that nuttiness from like a pecan. I'm getting definitely toasty. Definitely very toasty malts, but there's this distinctive pine, a little bit of a pine resin mixed in with that grapefruit, kind of a citrusy hop vibe to it. I'm finding kind of similar to that can of John and Illy's Oktoberfest that I've had in this variety pack. I'm getting a little bit of a metallic-y, minerally note to it. So I'm comfortable in saying that these cans kind of come off that way a little bit, but it doesn't detract enough from the beer's flavor for me to.
But you would rather have the bottle.
I would prefer the bottle, or I would actually prefer draft and then bottle and then can.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
I think if you like Oktoberfest beers, actually, before I get to that, it's a light to medium, basically medium. Crisp, clean, very clean. Yeah, it's fairly clean. It's super refreshing. What I was going to say there is I think if you like Oktoberfest beers, even though this is an amber ale, you would really like this. If you want to try a fall seasonal as a IPA and a hop fan, I think this is one for you. And because I had a brown ale earlier during dinner, I think even if you like brown ales, there's this toasty nuttiness in this amber ale that I think a brown ale fan would really love. But the only thing this beer really doesn't have that a brown ale can have is like those chocolate malty kind of notes to it. But otherwise, this is almost like kind of like a pecan pie mixed with hops, to be completely honest. It's very interesting, very awesome.
Okay, now, I noticed one characteristic with a lot of the brown ales. Now, it doesn't have that burnt taste to it, like a nut brown. Okay.
Not this one. Nope. It's just purely got a more of a toasty malt.
Okay.
So
it's a good beer, Lance.
So far this is one of the better. This is one of the better Harpoon beers. If not, I think it may be the best that I've had. But they make a lot of different beers and a lot of different limited releases. So I think if you can find Flannel Friday and you just want an easy drinking, interesting beer experience, this is a very great one to try.
Okay, yeah.
Eric.
Jay, yes.
Eric, can somebody explain to me why people always ragging on Harpoon, talking about how no good they are? Because I like Harpoon beers. I've had Harpoon beers for it's almost 20 years now. I always like them. I'm trying to figure out what's.
I don't know if the everyday average Harpoon beer is. I shouldn't say average, but I don't know if the everyday varieties like the year-round stuff that Harpoon does is just a little bit too average for the normal craft beer drinker, and maybe they've grown to appreciate bigger and bolder flavors, but the flavors that they introduce in these beers are, to me, are very good. If you want a big bold drinking experience, go get their Leviathan IPA, which is their Imperial IPA. They now have that one, and I think I had that once, and it's very craft beer like in taste. So if you want to drink something with a lot of taste, go to their Leviathan. But they have they're like a good brewery, like they're kind of like Samuel Adams. They're kind of like a Avery Brewing to a certain extent. They're kind of like even a Southern Tier where they have a whole host of styles of beer to suit every kind of a beer drinker's taste.
Down here it would be comparable. Down here it would be comparable to a Vita or a Shiner.
That I would agree with.
Or Sweetwater.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand that people say, well, they're not the greatest thing. Well, if you pay $16.99 a 12-pack, why did you think it was the greatest thing?
I think people that say that about Harpoon may have not tried Flannel Friday yet. It's really a cool beer because it's so out of the normal fall seasonal drinking beer to have this malty toasty beer, but with the hop character that it does. It's so out of the ordinary, but it's so exactly, this is what every brewery should be doing in the fall time because of how big IPAs and pale ales are these days. More companies should be making something like this.
Lance wanted to say something, but you're right, Eric.
Yeah, Lance, go right ahead.
I was saying something like here, Harpoon is readily available. Now, obviously, I haven't done a review yet because it's so readily available. Now, you are right in saying that I find most of their stuff average to above average. Now that one I have not had yet. I can't speak for it. But you said it was in the tailgate pack though, right?
Yeah, they do a what is this called specifically? I bought it recently. It's called their Harpoon Tailgater. That's their fall series. They do Harpoon Summer Vacation, Tailgater, Harpoon Opener, which is winter, and then or at one point they do Harpoon Opener, and then they do a more of a Christmas. So Harpoon Opener is a winter variety, and then they do more of a Christmassy one called Tis the Season.
Oh yeah, I wish we could get more of their stuff.
Yeah, wait. So this being probably the 12 pack. So I was going to flag that down.
Yeah, where I'm at, it's like
it is
$13 and $14 for the variety pack. So you don't break the bank trying a lot of their different varieties and styles of beers. However, maybe farther away from the brewery out west, maybe more money just due to the fact that it's got to travel a little bit further.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive in Louisiana, But well, I guess I don't have to get going. I'm going to get going. I appreciate you inviting me.
What would you give it? I mean, do you want us all to wait for the review on your channel to come out, or what? Or are you 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down? What do you feel?
There's no reason to wait because I did review it back in 2012 when it was called Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale. Instead of Harvest Pumpkin Wheat, which they call it today, it's a wheat ale. I'm saying 94 out of 100 now. You say, oh, 94, you're crazy, you're cuckoo. Blue Moon. It's like, no, instead of getting mad about me saying 94 out of 100, you should be saying, why did you deduct 6 points? That should be the contention. Tell me, what is the 6% deficit? What's wrong with it?
Right.
That's what I should be arguing about, not why it's so delicious and I gave it a high score. I mean, it's not the greatest thing, but I mean, it is so enjoyable. I have 10 left. If my friend David, with the big beard, comes over, I'm going to do a blind taste test with him, maybe. And, I mean, it's just an enjoyable beer. So if I pay $15.99 and I get 12 beers that are thoroughly enjoyable, why would I give them a low score?
Exactly. One of the best live chat comments we've gotten, and it specifically relates to Flannel Friday here, is our good buddy up north in New Hampshire. Craig Swenson says, I do not wear flannel. I wear jeans, metal shirts, metal hoodies with jean jacket, vest with patches. No flannel for this New Englander. So heavy metal props to this guy. Although
I read that comment.
If you're a heavy metal fan, you should probably still like those flannel wearers from Seattle known as Alice in Chains.
I do intend to buy more flannel, and I've always liked wearing flannel. Back when I was in high school, lots of people wore flannel long sleeve shirts with Iron Maiden undershirt t-shirts underneath.
I believe that. Yeah, I can see that.
That was like a thing. But anyway, I mean,
yes.
Not to say that it has to be paired with that. I just like flannel because it's warm. And I wear flannel pajamas. Thank you very much.
Agreed. Yes, sure. All right, I admit that. All right, let's go to John and Nilly. Where are you at with the beer? Is it doing anything different in flavor? Where are you formulating a rating as of yet?
Yes. The hops are coming through a little bit more as it warms slightly. It's still, very malt forward though. The body, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, 5.3% alcohol. The body is more on the light side. You could actually session this if you wanted to. Some of them are, it seems like a lot of these beers in this style are more 6% and getting up there a little bit. This one is full flavored, but it's a little bit more light bodied, if that makes any sense. And you could drink a few more of these and have you a nice evening. I do like this one better than the Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. I think it's slightly better than that one. I'm not sure what I rated that one, but I know it was at least a 95. So I'm going to go with a 96 for the Harpoon Oktoberfest, which is a solid A. It's getting up there, close to world class for this style. But I mean, it's really great. And and it is crisp, clean, refreshing, and the carbonation is medium with this one. But yeah, I'm loving this one. I'm excited to see if I can get the Flannel Friday one that you've got, Eric. That one sounds really good too. Harpoon is kind of becoming more popular here. It was very hard to get some of the seasonal Harpoon beers a few years ago, but I'm noticing this year, and I am in a new city this year, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. But I'm noticing that I'm seeing a lot more Harpoon beers, so I'm really excited to try some of their other products. But yeah, this is a solid A beer. One of the better Oktoberfest beers that I've had, or the Martzen style beers, because I know, like the Fest beers kind of fall into this category as well, but those are a lot different than the Oktoberfest beers or the Martzen beers. But I'm loving it. So yeah, 96 out of 100. I would highly recommend it. And I just bought a single, so I'm not really sure what the price point is, but yeah, it's an awesome beer.
You probably shouldn't have to pay north of $10. If that, you might pay $10 for, or $9.99 for a 6-pack of that. So,
which I would say is an excellent value for this beer because you get a really good flavor profile. So
yeah, you're gonna pay a similar price point to, at least for me. So I think that it should translate. You know, if the prices go up a few dollars here and there when you go down south or when you go over west. I think that beer prices are going to be the same relatively for Harpoon and Sam Adams, which is good. So if you can find Sam Adams at one price, I don't think that Harpoon should be any more than that.
But like Eric, we probably get Shiner beers cheaper than you get them, right?
They're really not that expensive, but the last time I maybe looked was a $14 or $15 variety 12-pack.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
No, so those are pretty light, easy drinking beers. That Shiner Bock would be great in the fall season. So, Lance, I know you've been drinking on this Imperial Pumpkin. Do you have any kind of a rating? Oh, you rated that a 4 out of 5, did you?
Yes, I did. 4 choking boots till I reassess it tomorrow when it's cold.
Oh, yeah, right. I'll watch. Yeah.
So what are your now that you're drinking this particular, now that you've drank this particular Imperial Pumpkin beer, and listening to everybody else talk about their variety of fall seasonal beers, has your thoughts changed since the beginning of the review on fall seasonals? Are they relatively the same or are they worse? Where are you at?
It remains unchanged for the most part. I mean, us Yanks, with these pumpkin beers, I understand why they do it, but like there's such a huge spread between good and bad, and like I said, this is one of the better ones I've had. But for me, an Oktoberfest beer or a straight up traditional German would be my choice before I even choose this. That's just me.
Yeah. Hey, Lance.
Yes.
Did you? And then I'm out of here. Okay, Eric. Lance, did you ever try the 2018 Sierra Nevada Weihenstephaner Oktoberfest beer?
Oh, I have not seen it.
Oh man, you would love that. I think everybody would agree with me. You would love.
I've had their collaboration that Sierra Nevada did with them, and now that 2018 Weihenstephaner Sierra Nevada is a great beer, regardless of its season it comes out in. That's a good lager beer right there. Hell yeah!
Got that right. You got that right.
That is tasty, you effing a brew. Pardon my French.
He means fabulous. All right.
I do. Yeah, it's great beer. So, quickly, as you exit the examination, your thoughts the same? They better or they worse on fall seasonals, Jay?
Oh, I was exiting. Oh, they're the same. I always liked them. I liked them back when I started doing beer video reviews in 2010, and nothing's changed.
But are they more, they're not as geared, your taste is not as geared towards pumpkin beers in the fall. Is that correct?
No, my taste is geared toward it, but my availability, accessibility is not geared toward it. 5 years ago, I could have chosen 20 different pumpkin beers. Now I can choose 2 different pumpkin beers.
I say that because I know that your thing usually isn't flavored beers, and some of these pumpkin beers can have a whole host of flavors that they add.
Yeah, the flavored beer thing is an issue, but I figure, you know, it's pumpkin beer, so it's fall season. We'll compromise our values on that.
Okay.
Unlike Hillary Clinton, my opinion of that is evolving.
Okay.
To fit the political vibes of the hour.
I get you on that.
In 1 hour? You ask me in 1 hour, I may give you a different opinion. No, all kidding aside, I do like the fall beers, pumpkin included, and I'm so delighted that I bought the Sierra, the Blue Moon, and so next year we'll see what's available on the shelves. I have a feeling it'll be a little bit different.
I'm unfavorable for the most part when it's when a fall seasonal, and I'm gonna name Shipyard Pumpkinhead as a
I was just about to mention that. We used to have shipyard galore. Now we got Shipyard.
I'm not really favorable to. I have not yet, but I love their Smashed Pumpkin, which is their 9% Imperial version of that beer. And I've aged it a couple of times, and it ages extremely well. And for me, I'm not a huge fan of the stereotypical kind of a pumpkin beer like that, because I think it's just too.
Well,
I was trying to ask with Jay, it's too flavored. It's too flavored. It doesn't have enough of a standard beer flavor to it in my eyes. Although I guess in that same regard, the Smashed Pumpkin really doesn't. But I would prefer for fall seasonals, if it were pumpkin, that it be more of an imperial beer and be more of a drinking experience, be one that you sit down with and you take your time with. That's more enjoyable to me. And I would rather go outside, put the flannel on, and have a campfire and drink a really nice beer and just sip, like with a good whiskey.
Because you are a communist. No,
maybe. I'm a Cubs fan, apparently.
That's from the movie JFK. No, no, Pumpkinhead is an odd item. It smells and tastes like the spice section. It smells like a spice broom at Cost Plus World Market.
Yeah,
it's very strange there. We don't get it anymore. We used to get it in bottles and cans. Now we get it in no availability. It's sad. Shipyard has gone the way of the dinosaur in Louisiana.
Ooh.
Cannot get it.
Yeah, obviously it's everywhere where I'm at, and most places that sell the Shipyard and the Shipyard Pumpkin, the Pumpkinhead beers, you'll find what looks like I don't have one off the top of my hand right now, but they sell what looks like a tin of pipe tobacco, and it's just Shipyard branded Pumpkinhead spice rimmer for your top of your glass to drink the damn beer with. I'm like,
wow,
that might taste.
Doesn't that beat the purpose?
But that's not a beer drinking experience for me.
Hey, one more comment that I got. Look, if you want a more authentic beer flavored beer, you know what I mean? Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin is going to work. If you want a more exotic, oddball, peculiar thing, then the Shipyard Pumpkinhead is one that might work. They both have their place, but I can only get the Blue Moon, so I have to stick with that.
I'm not very again, I'm not very flavored in the pumpkin beer category. However, a really well done Imperial Pumpkin is what I like. It's
I agree with that.
Fuller drinking experience. And as I said earlier, I do like the fall seasonals because they seem to be one beer style out of any of the fall, winter, spring, or summer beers that they just kind of leave alone, and it's more traditional brewing techniques and brewing ingredients in the fall, which is
even though they usually come out in late July, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if I even rated this, but I can't go any lower than an A-. I mean, the only other thing that I want in this beer is maybe more of a chewy malt, if that makes any sense, but that's just what I want in the beer. Otherwise, you can crush and kill this, and this is so outside of what you normally think of in the fall seasonal, but they're capitalizing on multi-fall beer with the IPA craze that's going on right now, and they've done it, and this is pretty much amazing for beer in general. So I'm glad to try it, and I will definitely buy it again.
I agree with that. Bye, Eric. Bye, Lance. It was good seeing you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, John and Nile.
Oh, you want to know something real fast? Real fast. I think until further notice, and I'll let everybody on our Facebook chatting know this, that I think we're probably going to have to do Tuesdays for a long while because my band just loves Wednesday nights. So we're going to do these Tuesdays for a long while, I think, until, again, further notice. And next week, we're going to try to do, if Lance wants to join, cheers, we're going to try to do nitro-style beers.
Oh, snap.
That could be trouble for me. That could be trouble for me.
If you want to do Guinness, that is a welcome addition.
I mean, nitro beers used to be common. Now it ain't like the old days, you know.
So that's what we're gonna do next week, and then I'll look at my notes, and we'll collaborate, and we'll see what's going on. Actually, so next week we got the nitro beers, and then in 2 weeks I'm gonna be going to upstate New York on a little bit of a vacation. So if anybody wants to do a Wednesday or a Friday, and maybe I can join when I'm on the mobile device and just be a participant with you folks, maybe I can do it that way.
All right. Well, it's good seeing you, Lance, and good seeing you, John and Nile. Thanks for inviting me, Eric.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I just want to say, y'all keep drinking those great beers.
Thank you, sir. You too.
No.
Bye.
Any final thoughts for the fall seasonal examination from John or Lance Deluge?
Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, I love these types of beers. You know, the one that Jay had, the Blue Moon Harvest Wheat, is one of my favorite pumpkin beers. And that, you know, I do like some of these imperial, like the one that Lance has, and some of these other ones that, you know, are a little bit stronger and more maybe pumpkin pie spiced. But if you want something more grounded in the beer world, I guess, kind of like Jay was alluding to earlier, then that would be a good one to try. But Oktoberfest, the Fest beers, your pumpkin beers, all excellent beers. If you like more malty style beers, you might want to give some Oktoberfest beers a try because they're really, really good. And the Harpoon Oktoberfest is no exception. So that's pretty much all I got. So go ahead, Lance.
What you got, Lance?
I got nothing else to add from you, John. I'm the exact same way. I mean, the way to go is the Oktoberfest style beers, and because it's that time of year. I mean, much as I like this one, this Imperial Pumpkin can't hold a candle to that one, any of those. So, and I'll be the first person to admit that. So anybody who watches this, you know, after the fact on the replay, I say go get a high quality Oktoberfest beer first, then go to the pumpkin beers and enjoy both. And that's all I can say.
On a stranger note here, I feel like our great buddy Gabriel Salaya told me that whether it's on my personal channel as an independent review, or if we all want to go buy 2 bottles or cans and do it together, I did write down that he recommended to do an MGD 64 versus a Budweiser 55.
No, that actually crossed my mind.
I don't know if anybody would be interested in finding, I don't even know if that's possible, just to find singles of that. And John is going, what the hell are you talking about?
I cannot. I would have to buy like a 12-pack or a 6-pack. If I see a single, then I would buy it. But I'm not going out of my way to buy something with that little flavor.
I'm not
Just
going
to,
out
you
of
know
my
what I mean?
way to buy a 6-pack each just to do a side by side.
Right, and that's pretty much what I would have to do. It's definitely not worth it for me. I've had both of them, and I think they're both just. There's nothing wrong with them, but I mean, I'd rather drink Perrier sparkling. I mean, there's no flavor, so it's a waste of money as far as I'm concerned for a beer.
I've seen your reviews. I know what you mean by that. And the other thought that I had before we conclude this evening, because I did buy, I forget when that was, Saturday. I did buy a 15-pack of Milwaukee's Best Premium and review it, and it was $8.99. I don't even know if what would you call that? Budget beer?
Milwaukee's worst.
Budget macro lager, yeah.
Budget?
Yeah, I did a review and I called Milwaukee's worst, the Beast.
Oh God.
There's a reason why they call it the Beast.
You kind of have to like. I mean, if anybody hasn't seen that review, go to Thomas Metal 75 and go look it up immediately. It kind of does have a big malt, or what do they call it, dextrose corn syrup flavor to it. But because it's such a, for me, because it was such a dry finishing beer, that grainy, corny flavor never lasted all that long. But obviously, for 15 beers for $8.99, what are you getting? You're going to get the choicest hops, if that's even kind of a hop.
That's creative marketing.
Get you into that beer. So just take cheap beers for the price point that they are and what kind of a purpose they serve. So anyways, enough blabbering about that. Definitely next week. We're going to do next Tuesday. We're going to do the nitro cans or bottle beers. So
I got to remember that then. As long as I get off early.
We'll be in touch. We'll be on Facebook. Contact us here live on Thomas Metal 75 channel YouTube. And until next time, on behalf of Jay Terrio, cheers. Lance the Lush in the state of Ohio and John Nilly in the state of Georgia. This has been another episode of Massachusetts Beer Reviews and Company. Keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, cheers.
That's been a wrap.